Is anybody happy to be in church today? Anybody happy to be up in here? Listen, I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I got all y'all beat because I am so pumped to be in the basement today, and I'm glad to be back. I've had some people ask me, like, Joel, where were you? I can only legally say this. I was down in Florida trying to convince Tom Brady to come out of retirement. That's it. That's 100% not true. But apparently Tom Brady's out of retirement. I leave church and Tom Brady comes out of retirement. So who's not a Tampa Bay fan? Who roots for somebody else? Okay, all of our hopes and dreams just got crushed. Okay, that's what that means right there. Anyway, hey, here's what we know around here. Every Sunday is somebody's first Sunday. And so if that is you, if this is your first time in the building, air high fives, air fist bumps, air elbow taps, kneecap bumps, all the things. So glad that you're here. And I know Cotter mentioned this earlier, but after the service, if you're here for the first time, go to the kiosk. Let us know this is your first time here. And if you go to the kiosk, we're going to hook you up. All right? You're going to get the limited edition Bay Shore coffee mug, all right? Coffee's just going to be good in this, right? I don't even drink coffee, all right? Mountain Dew's going to be good in this, okay? Like real good. And if you don't like coffee or Mountain Dew, inside of your bucket or inside of your mug is going to be this Fisher's popcorn. And if you don't like Fisher's popcorn, you can bless your pastor with your Fisher's popcorn. I'll receive that blessing. But anyway, after the service, stop by the kiosk. We just want to thank you for coming here. Even if you're like, I'm never coming back, we still want to hook you up. We're glad that you're here. And so can we just show some love to our first-timers and our onliners? Just show some love. And if this is your first time, you picked a great Sunday. We're starting this new series today. It's called Space to Breathe. Space to breathe. Let me set up this series with a question. Are y'all going to play along if I ask questions? You guys good? You in? You going to play along? Back row. You guys in? Over here, you guys going to play along? Okay, front row? Okay, simple question. Everybody can answer this question, all right? Here's a question. I want you to raise your hand if you've ever been on a cruise before. All right, and the Cape May Lewis Ferry does not count. Wow, look at this. Look around. That's a lot of people. Okay, all right, hands down. Where are the sad people that have never been on a cruise? You've never been on a cruise? Oh, that's a lot of people too. All right, that was me up until 2 weeks ago. All right, up until 2 weeks ago, the only cruise I'd ever been on was my 12-foot John boat going bass fishing, all right? Which I almost sank one time, but that's another story. Don't got time for that. But I've been gone because our family just went to our first cruise ever. That was my in-laws' gift to us for Christmas this year. So who has the best in-laws in the room? This guy right here. I do. And so I just want to tell you 3 things I loved about the Carnival Horizon. All right. Thing number 1 that I loved about a cruise. My in-laws paid for it. Come on now, let's all say praise the Lord on 3. 1, 2, 3, praise the Lord. Woo! All right, got that out of the way. That's obviously going to be the first one. The second thing that I loved about a cruise was my in-laws paid for it. Come on. Actually, I think my in-laws are watching this, and so Ted and Teresa, you all are the best. I love y'all. We had so much fun. I don't even care that you're Pittsburgh Steelers fans, all right? Like, I don't even care. You take us on a few more cruises, I'll become a Steelers fan, all right? Like, no shame. All right, the third thing I loved about the cruise was, the final thing I'll tell you I loved about it was the food. Come on, somebody. Are you kidding me? I ate so much food that I wore all black today. Because I heard black is slimming. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was like, I'm going to wear it. I'm going to try it out. I ate so much, and our server every night was the same server. Her name was Kaeja. And Kaeja was awesome. And the reason Kaeja was awesome is because I had heard that if you go on a cruise and you want to order like 2 different dinners, that they can't say no. So you can be like, I want like the lobster entree with a side of chicken parmesan or whatever. And so I heard you could do this. So the first night I decided I'm going to test out the water. And so Kaeja came over and she's like, Mr. Tice, what would you like? And I just acted this all out. And I was looking at the menu and I was like, Kaij, I'm just not sure. I'm so confused. I'm between the grilled steak and the veal parmesan, but I just can't seem to. If I could just have, man, it'd be so great if I could just have both. And oh, buddy, the Kaiji came through, all right, because she's like, well, I could bring you both. I'm like, you could do that? No lie, that was night one. I ate 2 entrees every single night on the cruise. No lie, all right? So I'll be wearing all black until, I don't know, forever. But it was awesome, and our server was amazing. Now, I only have 2 complaints about the trip, all right? Just two little complaints. The first complaint was that every night after dinner in the lobby, they had these ladies playing the cello. And they play like the popper songs, like they play like Coldplay on the cello, and like, the Get Up by Blanco Brown, or what, like they were playing all this cool stuff. But one night, they played, I would say, a controversial song in the lobby of the cruise ship. All right, and you guys want to see a video? I took a video. All right, now this is on a cruise, on a boat. This is what the ladies are playing. All right, now stop. Wait. I took this video. Somebody tell me what that song is from. How are you going to play the Titanic song? Why, I'm in the middle of the ocean on a giant boat. We have the whole clip. Let's play the whole clip. Let's just play the whole clip. All right, put my picture up. Can you put up the screenshot picture, the still shot? All right. This is how I feel about playing the Titanic song on a cruise ship. This is my official reaction right here, people. Also, see the quadruple neck? All right. 2 entrees, you know what I'm saying? Anyway. Complaint number 2 actually starts out as a compliment, all right? Because this boat that we're on, the Carnival Horizon, it's the biggest daggum boat I've ever seen in my life. And I'm from Gumboro, so I've not seen very many boats, okay? But it was amazing. It was this giant boat. But my complaint is this: how can the world's giantest boat have the world's tiniest elevators? The smallest, I took a picture. When we were on the elevator, here's me in the elevator. And if you zoom in and you kind of count all the arms and the people or whatever, there's 10 people in this picture, but there were 16 people in the world's tiniest elevator with us. And we all had 2 entrees. And you know what that means, don't you? Somebody say gas. Somebody say gas. No, just don't. Listen, there was no room in that elevator. So I'm like, we got to take a selfie, guys. All right, there was no room to breathe, no room to stretch, no room to like turn, no room to anything. There was no room to breathe. Everybody say no room to breathe. No room to breathe. Now here's why I show you this picture and told you all that story, all right? Can we go back to the picture real quick? I think this picture represents how most of us feel every day of our life. We got no room to breathe. All right, I'm going to prove it. All right, so I want you to raise your hand, shout amen, do something. All right, if you've ever felt like you got no room to breathe in your schedule, if you ever felt like you don't have any room to breathe in your schedule, yes. All right, because on Mondays you got meetings. You got to go to the grocery store for Taco Tuesdays. You got workout Wednesdays to burn off those 2 meals, whatever. All right, you got Taekwondo Thursday. You got to-do lists on Friday. Okay, does this sound like anybody's life? Yeah, we got no room to breathe in our schedules. All right, let's go another one. Who's ever felt like you got no room to breathe with your money? Come on. Have you bought gas at Wawa recently? Are you still paying off the Christmas credit card bill? Okay, don't answer that. But anyway, We got no room to breathe. And wouldn't it be nice if we had more room to breathe so we have more time and money with our family and friends? Like, wouldn't it be nice to have some room to breathe in those areas? Anybody? Yes, but instead, all the money goes to buying the lawnmower because we got to cut the grass. And we got to make dinner. And we got to empty the dishwasher. And we got bosses. And we got HOAs. And we got kids. And Bo Dukes has 5 stinking kids. Lord, pray for Bo Dukes. We are so busy, all right? Everything in our culture is like go, do, conquer, defeat, win, all this stuff. And if we're so busy, if somebody were to stop us and say, hey, are you enjoying your life? We'd be like, no, and I don't have room to talk about it or time to talk about it. We got no room to breathe. Everybody say no room to breathe. No room to breathe. All right, now, does anybody here have a neighbor that stops and talks to you? Anybody have this person? Who has this person? Look, what's wrong with them? Don't they got anything else to do? I got one of these guys, all right, that lives on my street. He's a sweet guy. He's a nice guy. His dog, not so much, but he's a sweet, nice guy. And this guy, he will leisurely walk in front of my house at a brisk pace of 0 miles per hour. And he lets his dog walk him wherever the dog wants to go. He goes. Listen, I walk my dog. I'm like, get over here. Pee right there. That's where you're peeing. Do it. Now. This guy, okay, he doesn't do that. He just leisurely walks. And if he sees me in the driveway, oh no. He will briskly walk up to me at 0 miles per hour. And he'll talk. I'm like, who talk? It's 2022. Send me a text. This is a true story. Listen, I feel like at any given moment, I have 17,000 things to do. I feel like that. And so whenever I'm driving home from here or work or whatever, I'm thinking like, oh, I got all these things to do. And so like sometimes I will pull onto my street thinking, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. And I will see the guy standing at the end of my driveway and I'm like, oh, great. And I'm like, rolling up my window, putting my sunglasses on, pulling my hoodie up, pulling the strings on my hoodie, all right, covering up my Bay Shore bumper sticker, putting a solid ground church bumper sticker on it because I'm not going to talk to the guy and I don't want to put a Google review up about the pastor. And so but this guy has space to breathe, to talk. He has space to interact. He has space on his to-do list. Can you imagine what that would be like? Retirement. Probably not, actually. I don't know. I can't even imagine what it would be like. And I feel like, I wonder if sometimes God's looking down on us and he's like, why are you all in such a hurry all the time? Like, well, why do you feel like you got to take it to the limit in every single area of your life? Why don't you just take a day off every once in a while? Because after all, I took a day off and I created the world. And so here's what I believe. I believe this for you all here. You guys right there, they're rowers in the back there, Jay up there. This is what I believe for all of us. Okay, I believe that God made us to need space to breathe in our life. Everybody just do this. Just breathe. Go. Breathe. Doesn't that feel good? Well, why do I think God wants us to have space to breathe in our life? All right, because I think he wants us to have space for our family and friends. I think he wants us to have space for him. I think he wants us to have space for our nice neighbor, our sweet neighbor with a dog. I think he wants us to have space in our schedules. I think he wants us to have space with our money. Could you imagine getting to the end of the month and having money left over? I mean, it's the end of the month. Some of you are like, yeah, that's not the case this month for me or ever, okay? But if you had space in your money at the end of the month, you could give some of that. You could save some of that. You could buy that 5-gallon jar of mayo you've always wanted. Like whatever, you just... And listen. Don't you believe that your life would be better if you had more space to breathe in it? Would anybody say, my life would be a little bit better if I had more space to breathe? Anybody? So I want to talk to us about that for the next 2 weeks, and we're going to look at a famous story in the Bible to talk about this today, okay? It's the story of these two sisters, Mary and Martha. Everybody just say Mary and Martha. All right. Now, Mary is like my sweet neighbor who has all the time in the world, all right? And Mary has time to, like, talk to Jesus and listen to Jesus. Martha is more like me. Martha's got some stuff to do, all right? So let's check this out. We're going to put it on the screen. Luke chapter 10, starting at verse 38. And it says this. It says, as Jesus and his disciples were on their way, Jesus came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary, and Mary sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. Pause and pop quiz. What was Mary doing? Oh, see? Breathing. There you go. She's sitting and listening to Jesus. But Martha was what? What was Martha? Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. All right. Now let's imagine something. I'm going to steal this chair for a second. Ellis, here's your phone. Let's imagine this. Let's imagine that after church today, Jesus pops into your house. He stops over for dinner. Now, before he pops in for dinner, all right, you're just sitting there watching Netflix. Probably watching something you shouldn't watch. You're watching Bridgerton or something, I don't know. I've never seen it, but I know some of you have. Anyway. But you're sitting there watching Netflix, and then your doorbell rings. You weren't expecting anybody. You're like, who is it? It's Jesus. Give me a second, Jesus. Turn that off. All right, put the YouTube on. Elevation worship. Go. Listen, if Jesus surprise popped into your house or my house for dinner tonight, I'm going to be like, okay, sit down, Jesus. I'm going to be turning on like Elevation Worship on YouTube. I'm like, Jesus, you just stay right here because I'm going to run to the Hawker's grocery store. I'm going to get you a USDA prime, thick ribeye steak, okay? And I'd run to the store and then I'd come back and I'd start cooking Jesus a steak. I'd be sauteing him some green beans. I'd be lighting all the Yankee candles in the house because if it ain't Yankee, it's stanky, all right? I'd be changing out all the toilet paper rolls. You know, I'd get rid of the one-ply Scott stuff. I'll put the thick stuff out. 4-ply, all right, with the stitching and the stuff that's definitely going to clog up the septic. You know, I'm going to be putting that stuff out. Come on, who's like me and you would be busy if Jesus said, hey, I'm going to eat dinner with you tonight. Come on, who's going to be busy? Where are my people at? Yes, all right, we would be busy. And in this story, Martha is busy. She's so distracted. She's got all this stuff to do. She's like, go, go, go. And then Mary, lazy, stinking Mary. She's sitting there listening to Jesus. Now, don't miss this. This is important. Martha, busy one, Martha didn't do anything wrong. Martha didn't sin. What Martha did was good. But what Mary did was better. And I think so many times in our life, we get distracted doing good things that we miss out on the best things. Well, let me give you an example of that. On Monday, I was coming up with ideas for this message. So I was in my little office, and I was like, you know, it was 3:35. I remember it was 3:35, and man, my Bible was glowing. I was clickety-clacking away. I was kind of hovering above my seat a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Everything was good. And at 3:35, that's an important moment in our house because at 3:35, I'm supposed to go pick up the kids from the school bus, okay? But I'm in the zone, guys, but I got broken out of the zone because my phone rang. And when my phone rang, it was my smoking hot wife. And the reason I knew it was my smoking hot wife is because there's a picture of my smoking hot wife that pops up every time my smoking hot wife calls. And so Stacy called me. And she said, honey, I got off work a little early. I'm outside in the driveway. Could you come out? We'll ride as a family to go pick up the kids together. And I was busy. I was like, honey, smoking hot wife. All right, honey, my keyboard is glowing right now. I am in the zone right now. I said, how about this? How about you just go pick up the kids? Why don't you go do the family thing, and then I'll catch up with you all later. And on Monday, I didn't go as a family and help pick up the kids. And I felt like, as I made that decision, I felt like God saying to me, Joel, You idiot. Like, you chose what was good, but you missed out on what was best. You missed out on what was better. And I'm curious, has anybody ever been distracted doing good things that you missed out on the best things? Who's ever been there? Yes, and we got so many distractions. We have work, and we have emails, and we have texts, and we have to-do lists, and we have grocery lists, and we have to mindlessly scroll through social media, and we have to keep up with the Joneses. And this is what I believe, and we'll put this on the screen because this is important. I think if the devil can't make us really, really bad, he'll make us really, really busy. If the devil can't make us really, really bad, he'll try and make us really, really busy. And I feel like God is saying maybe to some of you today, don't be like Pastor Joel. Don't be an idiot. Don't be so distracted by good things that you miss out on the best things in your life. You need space for your family. You need space for your friends. And oh, by the way, we need space for God. But Martha, she's busy, okay? She's changing out all the toilet paper rolls, all right? And Mary just sitting and listening to Jesus hey, Jesus, remember that time where could you tell the story of when the boy, you took his Happy Meal and you fed 5,000 people with it? Could you just tell us that story? And Martha's listening oh my gosh. And then that's where we pick up. Verse 40, all right? Because Martha's oh, listen to Mary. Martha came to Jesus and asked, Lord, don't you care that Mary, lazy, stinking Mary, has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Jesus, great story about feeding 5,000 people. Woo, okay. But Mary needs to come and help me change out all these toilet paper rolls in this house. And Jesus says, Martha, Martha, Martha. Who just thought of it? Come on, who went Brady Bunch in your mind? Distracted, everybody. Okay. Jesus says, Martha, 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 you are worried and upset about many things, and the steaks and the flowers and the Yankee candles and all this, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is what? Better, and it will not be taken away from her. In other words, Martha, you chose busyness and to do and to conquer, and that's good. But Mary chose what's better. She chose not to be busy. Now, I know what some of you all are thinking. I do, all right? I know what people think because my Bible glows, and I can float sometimes, and I can read minds, okay? It's a pastor perk. I'm like a Marvel character, all right? If you're new here, I don't believe any of those things. Please don't put that clip on YouTube. Anyway. But I know what some of you are thinking. You're like, Joel, I can't not be busy. I live in the real world, Pastor Joel. I don't just work one day a week, Pastor Joel. I don't get to go on free cruises, Pastor Joel. And you might be thinking Joel, you don't know what it's like. I live in the real world. I got a boss. I got to produce. I got to go. I know some of you are thinking that. This whole section, you're all thinking it. You're thinking it. I know. That's what we think. But here's what I believe. I believe you, me, all of us, we have time for what we choose to have time for. And you might say, well, I got to clean all the toilets. No, you choose. Well, my kid is in 73 activities. I got to take them to 70. Who signed them up for those activities? You choose. Or maybe you're I have 5 kids. Well, you're going to be busy, all right? I don't have any way around that. But look, we all get a choice. Busyness and distractions, or what's better. I choose. You choose. We choose. Now, here's why I hope we all choose something better. And we'll put this on the screen. And this is for all of us, all right? The less space you have to breathe in your life, at home, with your money, at work, whatever, the less space you have to breathe, the more stressed you are, and the more strained your relationships are. Is this true? You want to hear a story about how jacked up the pastor and his family is? Anybody? Absolutely, yeah. Everybody's praise the Lord. Please tell us those stories. All right, so me and my wife, we don't ride here to church together. And there's no like hidden reason for that. You know, it's not like I don't want to get in Stacy's messy minivan. Although, no, the reason me and my wife don't ride to church together is I like to get here at like 7:45, and she likes to get here around 10:45. She's going to show up anytime. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. That's messed up. I shouldn't have said that. But we do ride to church separate because I get here like super early. But back in January, I just got done with a 4-week series called The Year of the Comeback. And so on week 5 of January, Pastor Cotter was going to like wrap up and talk for the 5th week of January. Which, by the way, don't we love Cotter? Didn't he just do amazing the last couple of weeks? Like, love that guy. I don't know if he's in the room. But anyway, so that Sunday, I wasn't preaching. So I was like, well, let's ride to church together like a normal family. Let's see what that's like. And oh boy, did we see what that's like. I didn't know what you all went through, all right? But now I know, all right? Because we were running late, and I don't want to say why, because I've already made enough Stacy jokes today, okay? So I'm out of my Stacy quota. But we were running late, and so we had no space to breathe in our time. And so good old Pastor Joel was like, kids, comb your hair, tie your shoes. No, you can't have my water. Get in the van. We got to go worship Jesus, daggone it. Like, I'm just like, come on. And Stacy's in the bathroom getting ready. I'm like, honey, could you like hurry up? And she's like, don't you hurry me. I'm like, okay. Just curl your hair. Jesus walked to Calvary, but we can't get to church on time. Curl your hair, like, you know. So we're running late, all right? And so finally we get in the car, and we fought the whole way to church. Like, all right, we're going to late to the song. We're going to make the first song. We're going to miss all the announcements. I'm the pastor, you know, whatever. We get in the parking lot, and we fall under our breath in the parking lot the whole way down here. Like, I can't believe it. It's your fault. Like, it's the kids' fault. Look at them. Whose kids were these? Like, whose idea were these kids? Okay, like, they were just fighting. And we walked in this back door, and one of our volunteers was like, oh, it's Pastor and his family. How you all doing? We're like, oh, praise God. We're glad to be here. Love you, Jesus. And then we're like fighting as we're walking the kids back. Kids, we're late. Come on, who's ever lost your salvation on the way to church? Anybody ever lost it? It's messed up. But I think a lot of you can relate to that story. What happened? What happened is we didn't have space to breathe. And when you had the less space you had to breathe on your way to church, or at home, or at work, with your money, whatever, the more stressed you are, and the more strained your relationship is. And when we have no space to breathe, you know, we're straining our relationships with people. We're not just straining our relationships with people. We're straining our relationship with Jesus. Now, I've been a part of our church I worked for Bay Shore for 17 years. And I've been a pastor for 9 of those years. And so I've found out some patterns. I've seen some patterns over those 9 years, over those 17 years of being here at the church. And here's what I've noticed, all right? People will be coming to church, like every Sunday, all right? And they're sitting on the front row, like, it's awesome. They're all in. They're there, man. It is great. I love front rowers, all right? But then they'll get busy. They like, their daughter gets in like the traveling flute group. And they travel every Sunday or whatever. So they stop coming to church, you know, or they're like, you know, they get busy at work, or they get busy with whatever, all right? They just get busy, and they stop coming to church. And then what happens is like their marriage gets strained, or, you know, something happens health-wise, they get some sort of health scare happens, or something happens with their money or whatever. And guess when life kind of falls apart, guess where they show up? Church. And they always go to the pastor. I don't understand this, but they always come to me, and they're like, remember us? And they apologize, like, we're sorry. Which you don't need to apologize to me, but they do. They go through the whole thing, and then they're like, my life fell apart. What happened? And I want to say, well, you chose the flute over Jesus, right? I don't say that. I just think it, okay? But they walk away from church, they walk away from Jesus, and then life hits them. And if I'm kind of like reading your mail, if you're like, oh, that's me, is he talking about me? Okay, no. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I know I kind of make a joke out of all that. But I'm so glad you're here if that's you, and you kind of like walked away and you're back. number one, you don't need to apologize to me, all right? Please don't apologize to me. I'm just glad you're here. And the reason I'm glad you're here, and I've said this forever, is because I believe that Jesus makes your life better and he makes you better at life. And so I just want you to come to church. And you might say, well, was being a Jesus follower makes my life perfect? No. But when life isn't perfect, oh man, isn't it better to have a perfect Savior right next to you to walk through that? And I don't know about you, but I never want to be too busy for the one who wasn't too busy to leave heaven, come to earth, down across from me. Like, I never want to be too busy for Jesus. Anybody with me on that? I don't want to be too busy for him. And I have a theory, all right? And, you know, since it's my theory, it's right. That's how my mind works. But my theory is the reason we're all so busy doing all these things is because we think, and we'll put this on the screen, it all depends on me. It all depends on me. I got to get little Sally in 73 flute lessons because if she doesn't go to her flute lessons, she's going to live a life of crime. I got to work 70 hours a week because if I don't, then I won't have that 3,000 square foot house for me and my Yorkie poo. I got to answer all the emails and the clients and all this stuff. I got to say yes to every single invite because after all, it all depends on me. And if I don't do it, the world will stop spinning. If I don't do it, little Sally will take her flute and turn it into drug paraphernalia. Or whatever, I don't know. Don't think about it too much. Anyway. I got bad news for you, church. It doesn't all depend on you. Listen, if you die, the world won't stop spinning. The Wawa is still going to be open. And here's why, okay? Because it doesn't all depend on you. We'll put this on the screen. It all depends on God. It doesn't all depend on you. It all depends on God. And if God took a day of rest, maybe you should too. If God took a breather, maybe we should too. And oh, by the way, he was still pretty productive. I mean, he created the universe and all. There's this verse, it's pretty famous. It says, it's God, and God says, be still and know that I am God. And I think that verse is God with a giant microphone or megaphone just saying, hey, there's a God, and that God is not you. And so you can breathe because I got it. So everybody just breathe. Everybody say, it all depends on God. It all depends on God. One more time. It all depends on God. So what do we do? All right, this has been theoretical. Let's get really practical for the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes of this. 5 minutes. We'll put this on the screen. All right, thought number one is this. If you want space to breathe, breathe. Say no to good things so you can say yes to the best things. Now, let me give you a story about this. My wife asked Jen, and Jen is Nate's wife. Nate, our creative pastor. My wife asked Jen's wife to go get coffee a few weeks ago. And I think they were going to go to I don't know, Starbucks or something. And I don't do Starbucks. I've always made a joke that Starbucks should be called $5. But then inflation hit, so now I'm calling it $7, okay? But they were supposed to go to Starbucks or something, and but Jen said, oh, Stacy, I'd love to, but that day, that's our family day. And family day is when we just spend the whole day together as a family, me and my husband and my son, and we just spend the whole day, no commitments, just family day. And so Stacy told me about that, and I thought, is she feeding you a line? Because that's pretty good. I mean, I'm going to take that one. Right? That's a good one right there, family day. But no, I know Nate and Jen, once a week, they say no to everything else so that they can just focus together as a family. Isn't that brilliant? You know why it's brilliant? It saved me $7 that day. No, I'm kidding. No, but listen, I think that's brilliant. I think all of us should have family day. Some of you are like, have you met my family? Have you seen my kids? You know my kid? No. But when we have no space to breathe, we got to be able to say no. to some good things. We got to be able to say no to some good things so we have space to say yes to the best things. So let's practice, all right? You guys going to practice with me? Everybody say no. Okay, that was kind of crappy. It's kind of like when the server, Kaija, brought me like creme brulee, and I was like, no. Okay. Could I have another one? No, let's say no like you mean it. No. There it is. All right, let's practice. You're all tuned up. All right. Do you really need to say yes every single time somebody invites you to something?
No.
That's good. Do you really need to have your kid in 73 activities at one time?
No.
No, make them suffer. Pick one. Preferably not on Saturday morning at 7 a.m., okay? No, do you really need to answer that client's email at 2:37 a.m. in the morning because you woke up to get Girl Scout cookies and you checked your phone? No, okay? Do you really need to answer your boss's text right away?
No.
That's a yes. That was a trick, and you all just failed and you lost your jobs. Don't say no to the boss. All right, anyway. But what are we doing? We're saying no to good things. So we have space to say yes to the best things. Last practical idea is this. If you want space to breathe, always leave space for Jesus in your day. Now, question. And we're going to make this multiple choice just to make it easy. We're getting to the end of the message. Some of you have checked out, so we'll just do multiple choice. We'll put this on the screen. What's the opposite of busyness? A, working until your eyes are crossed. B, watching all the TikTok videos. C, toilet cleaning until your nose is crying. Not sure what that means, but. Or D, resting. What's the answer? D. And B's kind of there too, but D. Everybody say rest. Do you know Jesus had like a crazy idea about rest? You know what Jesus famously said about rest? This is what he said. We'll put it on the screen. Matthew 11, verse 28. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened." Everybody say, I'm busy.
I'm busy.
Jesus is like, okay, come to me. And I will give you what? Rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find, what will you find? Rest for your souls. Do you know what's better than rest for your eyeballs? Rest for your soul. That's real rest. That's healing rest. That is better than sleep number bed rest, people. Rest. And he said the way you rest your soul is you come to me. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're like, I don't even know what that means. How do I go to Jesus? I already got too many places to go, Jesus. This is what we're already talking about. Like, how do I go to Jesus? What if going to Jesus literally means to not do anything? Like nothing. Literally. Because I think one time a day, you should not do anything. And the reason I say that is because what Jesus said that I referenced earlier in Psalm 46, verse 10. And this is this is God straight to us. This is God talking to us. He said, be still. Well, I can't. I got to empty the dishwasher. Be still. What? Yeah, but my phone just vibrated. It's Walgreens. My prescription's ready. I got to go. No. Be still. But the oven's preheated for the stofers. Okay, I got to be still, because when you're still, that's when you'll know that I am God. When you're still. So what if this week, every day, you just took 5 minutes and you're still, and you focused on God? You didn't do anything. You weren't busy. You weren't distracted. You didn't tweet about it. And you just spent 5 minutes sitting and just focusing on God. That's right. Like, my homework for you this week is to not do anything. 5 minutes, undivided attention. Give it to Jesus. Just focus on him. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're like, this is the greatest homework ever. I will crush this, okay? Like, I got this. Let me tell you my experience with this. I started this on Monday. It has not gone well, people. I am 0 for 7 for making it 5 minutes without distractions. 0 for 7. Day number 1, it was in our bedroom. I sat on a little chair. I'm like in the moment. But we have this like really dirty rug in our bedroom. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, focus on the Lord, focus on the Lord. Why is that rug so disgusting? How does that even happen? Now I got to go to the Giant. I got to get a rug doctor. I got to, mow the thing with a rug doctor. And day number 2, I sat in the same place. My dog stared at me the whole time. I'm like, I got to pee, Dad. You better take me out, Dad. I'll mess that rug up again. Day number 3 was going well until my kids busted in and decided to reenact the Harlem Globetrotters presentation they saw at their school the day before. And I'm like, Lord, is this a test? This feels like a test. Guys, this is not easy homework. This is hard. But for 5 minutes, would you be willing to commit to not produce anything, not create anything, not TikTok about it or Instagram, not scroll or whatever? Just 5 minutes where you're just focusing on God. And you can talk to him, or you don't have to necessarily talk. You can just be still and know that he's God. Come on, who's willing to do that this week? This is peer pressure. I'm going to make you raise your hand. Do it today. Start today. And let me just tell you, I told you the hard part about it. Let me tell you a good thing about it.